Have you been struggling with your shoulders, and do you feel pain that maybe radiates around to the side of the shoulder here? There is a chance that this could be a rotator cuff tear. Welcome back, guys. It is Dr. Tom here. When we talk about rotator cuff, we have 4 different muscles that make up the rotator cuff: the supraspinatus, the infraspinatus, the teres minor, and the subscapularis. So 3 of those muscles do external rotation, which is that way, and one of those muscles, the subscapularis, does internal rotation. When we talk about tears, we have the two different types of tears. So partial tears, where the tendon is damaged but not completely torn, and then full thickness, which is where the tendon is completely torn, and this is where you need surgical intervention. So if you've had an MRI and they say full thickness, you're more looking down that pathway. However, if you are still partial, today's routine may be great for you. What are the main signs and symptoms of a rotator cuff tear? So the obvious one is pain. Pain on movement is a big one. So if you're going into external, it's one of those 3 tendons that can cause pain, same as internal. Another big one is weakness. As we just mentioned before, limited range of motion. Another one is pain at night, and patients often come in and say when they're laying on that shoulder, they get that aching pain at night. So if you think that some of these symptoms may relate to you and you want to self-test yourself, how do you do that? The best one and the more commonly torn tendon is the supraspinatus, and the easy test we can do here is arm straight out in front, thumb down. We call this the empty can test. And then with the other arm, just applying a little bit of resistance. And obviously if there is pain in that wrapping around that shoulder here, or weakness present there is a solid chance that is a rotator cuff tear. The other one we can do is for the other tendon. So we can go external rotation from here and just apply a little bit of resistance, and then we can do internal rotation as well. And if there's pain there just on activation, that can often mean there is some form of pathology in the tendon. So let's get into it, guys. Okay, so what we're gonna do for number 1, place a folded up towel on the ground, so just so we don't irritate the elbow. And then from here, without the weights to start off with, all we're going to be doing is 10, slowly trying to let the wrist go all the way down. Remember that we don't want to go into the pain zone. So if you start to feel pain, you're going too far, but we want to try and improve this mobility. So the elbow should be about shoulder width height, and we're letting that shoulder go into internal and external range there. Now, if this is enough for you, we're going to stay with this and we're going to do 2 rounds. If you feel like you can try and add a little bit more into this, we're going to add a very light 2-pound weight to start off with. So after the 10 repetitions here, if you feel up to it, we're going to add a weight into this hand. Now, we are going half pace. We're doing 8 reps with this, very slowly, dropping down. So it should be about 6 seconds to get all the way to the bottom. And then slowly coming up. We can go a little bit faster coming up, but then once we get to the top point, same thing, 6 seconds down into internal rotation. So make sure 0 pain, all control, coming up a little faster to that half point, dropping down over 6 seconds, making sure we're not sort of arching our back or trying to change the body position to make this easier on the shoulder. If you get to just there and that's your barrier, we can stay with that. Okay guys, so for the next one, we're going to try and get a little bit of a stretch through the area. So we're going to simply come with one arm, lock the other in, and pull it across the midline. Now if this is too tender, you may want to just back it off. So obviously this is stretching some of those rotator cuff. So we just want to make sure we ease our way into this and that it isn't too sore. So holding here, if it is fine, for 30 to 40 seconds, using that out breath to allow everything to release and relax. And then also to help release this, we're going to use a lacrosse ball and get this in to the muscular portion on the back of the shoulder. So not where the tendon and the tear is, the muscular portion. With a little lacrosse ball, we are going to find that shoulder blade you're going to find a little bony part that goes right down the middle of the shoulder blade. We're going to place that on the fleshy little muscle above. From here, the arm's going to be straight out. We're going to find the tender spot and rotate on that sore spot. So find the sore spot. We're doing 20 little micro rolls on that sore spot. And then after the 20, we can sort of search around, find another sore spot. 20 little micro rolls on that sore spot. And then from here, once again, finding that little bony, we call it the spine of the scapula. We're going to drop below that spine of the scapula onto the lower portion. I'm going to show a little picture in the on the screen here so it can make a little bit more sense for you. Same thing though, arms straight out, find the sore spot. Once we find the sore spot, 20 little rolls on this area. Okay, so if we are ready to activate the shoulder a little bit, what we're going to do is come against a wall. We're going to add what we call isometric strength. So strength where we're not moving and has less chance of disrupting that tendon while it's healing. So we're going to bring the arm 90 degrees in the elbow against the wall. With the wrist, we're going to start to press that wrist into the wall. So trying to externally rotate that arm while keeping the elbow locked into the ribs. So I often like to place my hand here so you know that you're constantly squeezing that elbow into the ribs. And our first one is going to be from here. So with the arm straight in front, we're going just for 10-second holds. So really trying to squeeze as hard as we can for 10 seconds into that wall. And then after the 10 seconds, slowly have a little release, relax. We're doing 5 reps here. So go back into a second one, keeping it straight, elbow squeezing into the ribs, externally rotating into the wall. And then from here, after we've done the 5 reps of 10-second holds, we're going to turn our body. So our arm, if this is 0 degrees, we're going out to about 30 to 45 degrees. And then from here, this will be a little harder because we're already in a bit of external rotation. We're going to try and once again, fire that wrist all the way out. So squeeze the elbow into the ribs, fire that wrist out, hold there, shoulder blades back, good posture, neck nice and tall, squeezing back, squeezing back, squeezing back, 10 seconds again, 5 reps from this position. And have a little rest. So you go through your 5 repetitions of 10 seconds from a straight arm position, from here, and then 5 reps of 10 seconds from here as well. Now, while we're on the wall here, guys, a really good one I like people to focus on is shoulder blade control. It's so easy just to focus on the shoulder, trying to strengthen, trying to release the tension through the rotator cuff. But a huge one is, and a lot of causes of the shoulder rotator cuff starting to get tears can be due to poor scapular control. So all we're doing here, arms placed on the wall in front of us at shoulder height. The harder, to make it harder on ourselves, we can walk our feet further out from the wall. We're going to start out pretty upright, nice and tall. Now all we're doing here, keeping the shoulders low, bringing the shoulder blades back together, keeping these elbows locked straight, and then trying to keep the shoulders low, trying to spread the shoulder blades there. So we call this motion protraction forward and then retraction back. We are going through here and going to achieve 10 repetitions. So struggling to get my words out today. Holding for 3 seconds each way. Bring the shoulder blades back together, 3 seconds here. Okay, while we're on the wall, another one we are going to do. Bend the knees, lock the lower back into the wall, ribs locked down, arms out to the side. We call these Ys on the wall. Head up nice and tall, back of the head pressing into the wall. From here, 8 repetitions of slowly lifting up with the arms. Now the whole time we move these arms, our goal is to keep pressure back into the wrists. So elbows are pressing back into the wall, wrists are also pressing back. Slowly dropping down from here. Now as we get to here, I often see a lot of patients, we get to here when you start to arch your back to make it easier. That's a no-no. So we lock the ribs down, flatten the lower back into the wall, keep that posture, 8 reps very slowly. Pressure in the wrists and the elbows all the way up, pressing back. Same thing as we come down, pressing back, making sure the lower back doesn't lift off. And then we've spent a lot of time on the wall today, guys, but this is the last one for today, and this is to hit that little sneaky muscle, the subscapularis muscle. So remember, the 3 of the rotator cuff do external rotation. The subscapularis, is the only one that does internal. So we want to strengthen this little guy. It runs from the front border of the scapula all the way sort of through, deep through here into the front of the shoulder. So to strengthen this, guys, we're going to place one hand behind our back and simply push out into a wall. Now, with this, the closer in towards the wall we are, the easier it is. So we're going to start with our shoulder blades, the back of the head and everything into the wall to start off with. Pushing that hand back into the wall, a little bit of bend through the knees. And if that's, okay, I can achieve that, that's pretty good, there's no pain. We're going to step out just to an inch, barely stepping out. And then you're going to find as you step out, like, oh, okay, here we go. It's a little harder to activate that subscap muscle. So, same thing as we did before, 10 seconds pushing back into the wall. If there is pain in your shoulder, just to get into this motion, which a lot of people with rotator cuff tears do have, all you do is start with squeezing that arm into your belly button. So we start on the front, squeezing that arm in, and that's the easiest version there. That is it for today. Remember that if this felt good, you felt like you were benefiting from this, add this to your daily routine. Consistency is way better than doing one big session a week where you won't move forward very fast, and the chance of getting this injury again is very high. If you know anyone else who has a rotator cuff tear or maybe complaining of shoulder pain, send this program to them. It may help them, and that's what these videos are designed to do, is help you guys. Enjoy your week, guys.